Welcome back to Cannabis Canada with Jason Wilcox and Vicky O'Brien. Hola. It is the 1st of March. Jeez. 420 coming up soon, friends. 420 coming up soon. And yeah, we got a lot of interesting things going on here at Cannabis in Canada. You know, there's been a lot of chat going on lately, and we wanted to get into this. So some of the topics that I'm going to be covering, Vicky's only going to be on for a short period of time. She does have another appointment. She's actually doing consulting now for CBD. I'm so proud of her. I'm not going to say which companies, and there's actually more than one, believe it or not. And she's actually consulting for them, so it's making me jealous. But no, in all reality, I'm proud of her and super happy for her. She's got that look, and she reaches that age bracket that these companies obviously want her for. But she's been doing very well consulting with that, so I really wanted to get her back on the show and update you guys. Yeah, well, she's always saying she's in a mess, which to me she always looks good. But
like not long at the gym.
Yeah, well, we went for a workout this morning. Well, actually, I didn't go with her this morning. That was one of the mornings we didn't go together. I stayed home and worked out here with my dumbbells, and yeah, that's a whole nother story. I'll get into that when I'm on the show later. But yeah, because I had this the other what was I gonna say there? Because of the shit. There we go. Because I had there a second cam. The Vicky cam. Haha, there she is. All right, so Vicky will be doing demonstrations for you on the Herbal Passion. And now 1,000 milligrams CBD. Now what people have been talking about, we're going to be talking about full spectrum CBD that we were making for ourselves through our home kitchen. Then we'll also talk about how to test your CBD for purity and impurities. We'll also talk about some of the different types of CBD, applications, and most importantly, I'm going to hand it over to Miss Vicky Dabbs to be able to talk about that.
Awesome. So this pillow that I had out for my back. Apologize for that. Looks a little messy. Yeah.
It's got you.
It's got that pillow too. That's really bothering me. Hold on. I don't know if I really fixed that mess.
Oh, did you want?
I had that out for my back.
I can actually bring the camera over in this way if you want. I was just having the shot.
You didn't need to do that.
All right, there you go.
Okay, awesome. So we're talking CBD. LP weed is poison. Jerry, you know what? I don't know anything about LP weed. I don't consume LP weed. I don't buy LP weed. So I'm not going to sit here and, say that everything is poison because, you know what? Some of it will be good, some will be bad, some will be all the way in between. I'm not here, Jerry, to dump on the LP system today, but if you want to start your own show and go for that, hey, knock yourself out. Today, I'm going to be talking about CBD because that's really important to me, Jerry. That keeps me off of a walker. So that is quintessentially one of the most important things in my life, in my day, in my world, my son's world, my sister's world, my man's world. Because they've all seen me on the other side of CBD. They've seen me in states where I'm bedridden. They've seen me in states where my knees are at my chin and I'm crying. I'm in so much pain. I can't get out of bed. I can't cook for myself. I can't fend for myself. I can't care for myself. And I essentially, no, it sounds good. I've already listened.
Okay.
I need help just with like basic, daily living stuff. And as a counselor many years ago, I used to help people with their ADLs, the activities of daily living. Now, when I have a fibro flare up, I need people around me helping just doing my basic ADLs, my laundry, my cooking, my cleaning, just keeping it together. And when I didn't have CBD, that was an all day, every day experience for me, getting up and thinking, okay, well, today I got to cook, clean, do laundry. I got to pick one of them, and I got to wash my hair. It was like, when you're working on, say, 10 to 16 spoons, and hair wash is 2 spoons because now you got to wash your hair and shampoo. And if you're straightening, now you're in your 3rd spoon. You know what I mean? A shower is a spoon. Getting dressed is a spoon. So by the time you've brushed your teeth, had a shower, you've used 6 spoons. You've only got 10 for the day, and you've still got laundry, meals for your family. If you're in the same position as me, and you're working in this spoony sisterhood, this spoony manhood, this spoony humanhood, and you're figuring out how to best use your spoons. Well, let me tell you, CBD has helped me space out my spoons and use them most effectively, because before that I was bedridden and essentially I got nothing done. And I don't care who you are, but when you're in bed all the time and you're sitting just clicking through the TV channels, the hope that was lost in that experience, my God, it was like the black hole of Calcutta. You know what I mean? Again, I'm so grateful to have found CBD because not only has it enhanced my physical pain, but my mood has gone from like, you know, flatline, depressed, anxiety to motivation and wanting to go to yoga and try new things and become a vegan, and you know, all the stuff that I'm doing now is 15 years in the making. So for anybody that is new to the chronic pain, new to fibromyalgia, new to, you know, autoimmune disorders, I'm 15 years in my journey of recovery, and the first 10 were putting one foot in front of the other just to get by, you know what I mean? I wish I would have found this 12, 15 years ago, because if I'd have found this at the beginning of my car accidents, I suspect I wouldn't be where, you know what I mean? I would have recovered many, many years ago, rather than it taking, you know, the last 5 to get better. Maybe I would have only spent a couple in bed, you know, rather than spending 7 or 8. It was a long time. Let me say, folks, it took me a long time to get here, but I'm so glad to be here. So we're going to start with my most important item, and that's CBD isolate. CBD isolate is just a beautiful, beautiful product. I use this, I make bath bombs, I make topicals, I make edibles, I make creams, I make caps. So if you're looking for a multi-purpose CBD product, I love CBD isolate. It is amazing. It works amazing, and again, for a multitude of things. My next in order would be this tincture here, and this is 1,000 milligrams. I take this 3 to 6 times a day. I make my own canna caps, and this is what they look like. Very pretty. Sorry, I'm just getting used to the camera. I haven't been on the show in a while, so I'm like, where am I going here? There we are. Oh, the camera's right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know where I was going. So there we go. Perfect. So these are the ones that I make myself, and my starting material again is the CBD isolate. I mix that into a couple of different blended oils, and I use lecithin to help bind the molecules. And I end up with this 1,000 milligram concoction that I make half into a tincture and the other half I cap. So based on the math that I've been able to acquire online, these caps are anywhere from 25 to 33 milligrams of CBD. And again, I take a minimum of 3, maximum usually of 6. And when I get up in the morning, the very first thing I do to combat my pain is I take a tincture under the tongue. I'm just going to swallow it today for TV purposes. But what you would do is you would take that under the tongue and you allow that to sit at the mucous membranes, and the mucous membranes do all of the work for you. So they will absorb all of that good medicine, and because it passes the blood-brain barrier quicker, you know, you're getting relief within 15 to 20 minutes. So the first thing I do is I take my tincture, I follow up with 1 cap, I make myself a cup of tea, and that's how my day starts. I go back up the stairs, brush my teeth, and I get on with my day. But honest to goodness, and he can attest to this for many years, the very first thing I do in the morning, folks, is get up, get my CBD into me, and then I get on with my day, whether that be yoga, you know, juicing. What I found in becoming disabled, you know, and it took me many years to accept this, was that when I was working, I was a heck of a worker. You know what? I was a grinder. I worked 9 to 5. I put in extra time. I was one of those people. So without a job, I was really kind of lost. Really lost. I had no purpose. I didn't know what the fuck to do, right? And my job gave me purpose. What I found is that I've taken all that time and all that energy and those resources, and I've made it about me. And I've made me my project, my health my pet project, my wellness my pet project. And again, I wish I would have done this 15 years ago, because if I picked me up, you know, when I first got sick, I suspect, again, I've probably gotten better a little quicker. But I think a lot of us kind of backburner ourselves and wait for the medical system to catch up and do all the work for us. The medical system never caught up with me. They were never able to figure out my ailments. They essentially told me at 35 to find a wheelchair by 55, and I would probably be in care because I couldn't take care of myself. And again, 5 years ago, I was in a bed, so it was very believable to me. I was going for a monthly epidural and steroid injections every month. Can you imagine going for an epidural by choice? That's the amount of pain that I was in. And again, I could never, ever, ever have imagined in my wildest dreams that CBD, cannabidiol, could replace epidurals, opioids. I was on pills for my tummy, pills for depression, pills for anxiety, pills for pain. You know what I mean? Pills on pills on pills on pills. It never ever ended. But you know what? It did end when I picked this up. When I found CBD, when I found cannabidiol, my miracle, and you know, the end of my days with pharmacare was right there. And for me, it was a blessing, because my organs can no longer withstand daily intakes and uptakes of all the nasties in those drugs, right? So if you are like me and the medical system is failing you, you know what? I'd say, hey, what the hell? Give the herbal passion a chance. You know, give your local dispensary, go in and say, hey, what's up? Check them out. If there's some still open, find, your medical marijuana online. There's tons of mom sites out there. Support local craft cannabis. Truly, that's what I believe in. But you know what? To each their own. I think the most important thing is if you're out there today and you're struggling and you're suffering and the medical system is letting you down, why not give cannabis a choice, a chance? You know what I mean? Give it a chance. Just what the hell you got to lose? And that's where I was years ago. I was hopeless and without any options. And you know what? I still couldn't believe that this little cap could replace, upwards of 18 pills. But this thing has replaced everything but my thyroid pill. And I'm really happy to say that. And I only went back on the thyroid pill this year because I had to. So apart from a thyroid pill, that is the only pharmaceutical I take now. And I used to have like one of those fucking, those snap things where you snap it over, it's got your AM, PM thing. Because I was on so many pills, I couldn't remember if I took my morning ones and I took my night ones and did I double dose, did I triple dose, did I underdose. I was walking around like a zombie all day long. And again, had anybody had said to me, why don't you just give this a chance, Vicky? Why don't you give cannabis a chance? Not sit around smoking joints, actually the medicinal aspects of marijuana. I would have thought, wow, fuck yeah, I'll try anything. Because again, when you're going for a monthly epidural by choice, I was out of options. You know what I mean? And again, if you're out there and you're struggling, there are options. Please don't give up. There is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And I know that it doesn't feel like it is on your your worst of days, regardless of what your health issues are. CBD treats, epilepsy, skin disorders, anxiety, mood disorders. They're looking into schizophrenia. It is a neuroprotectant, so it's not only helping the brain, it's healing the brain. So if you have a TBI or if you have Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, there's a myriad, MS. If you have a brain disorder of any sorts, my better thinking is get on a regimen of CBD now. Start protecting your brain. Start feeding it your endocannabinoid system. Start feeding it all that it needs. Nourish it from the inside. Yes. You know what I mean? Don't go to the doctor to nourish a muscle that they don't really even understand. You know what I mean? This plant is a lock and key for it. It truly is a lock and key for our body. So the more that I put into me, the better I feel. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And bless up, man. Bless up, fam.
Yeah, that was awesome. Now, is anybody, while we've got these open, now's the opportunity. We've got, I'm going to see if there's any questions you have on Facebook or YouTube. Please feel free to dive in. I know we had a little bit of technical difficulties. We lost a few people on YouTube. I see you're just coming back on now. Please share around, guys. For some reason, I'm not sure what's happened, but some reason I can't even share into my own group on Facebook. So if somebody can please share this into the Cannabis in Canada group. We do have 15,000 people in there that would like to see the show, I'm sure, or some of them. But we also want to talk about, is 420 a protest or is it a farmer's market? Now, this is deep-seated in the roots of the cannabis culture and activism and everything that we stood for in fighting reefer madness and fighting prohibition, so we could get to where we are. So this is the first summer of legalization. Now, I've always said that 420 is a protest, always has been a protest. It's not a farmer's market, simply because it's not legal to have a farmer's market. Mm-hmm. So you can't really protest that which is already a said law. You can protest and say these laws are arbitrary and unjust, but you can't turn around and just break them. It's like me. I may think that it's unjust that my wife and I can't go outside and have sex on the sidewalk right now. But there's regulations in place that says you can't do it. No, I'm just saying. You can't run around. Okay, same thing. Run around bear hours. But they do have these naked cyclists that get to do it once a year here in Vancouver.
Why not, right?
It is what it is. But I'm just saying there are laws and regulations that seem to govern everything that we're doing. Have you checked our sound for coming through? I'm not sure if you guys can let us know if there's any problems with our sounds.
We're some new equipment. That's why we're asking.
We're running with a new mic, and I haven't really messed with any of the settings or anything on it. It has a little more than I'm used to, so I don't know. Usually my voice is up higher, but I guess if I come in like this, I can be like radio host type stuff. But whatever. All honesty, 420 is a protest. Yes. It's your constitutional right to assemble and protest any arbitrary laws or overbearing laws that you feel are going to hurt another civilian. It is not a farmer's market. I know people out there think that I'm speaking out against you. I'm not speaking out against you. I'm part of the farmer's market. That being said, I'm also there protesting the laws. So it's a very convoluted topic.
But why should you protest and pay?
This is where we're going with this. This is when the Emorys went through this when they decided that they were going to start to charge for booze. Now, we understand there's a reason you need to charge for booze, because the city wants to know that they have fire lanes, they have a lane to get for the ambulance, you know, to station. They can make sure that this 40,000 people or 80,000 people coming to this event are going to be safe. That's all. But now, if we do 250, 300 booths times 250 or $500,
that's a lot of dough.
That's a hell of a lot of money for somebody going to a free protest in a free park where there's no permit that was paid for. There's just a protest. Nobody pays to attend a protest. That's fucked. I don't know when you all started wanting to hand your money over to the other guy, but whoever the other guy is taking in the money, I'm talking to you too. It's a fucking protest. Stopping voices, stopping people from getting on the stage and fucking talking to the crowd. You really think that that stops the movement? The voice is the internet. The voice is social media. People are going to get out there. What I see going on is 420 is getting bought out. There ain't going to be no farmers market. We're going to get raided. Anybody see what they did to Medman's booth recently? Talk to Thaddeus. What did they do? They hit him. Bam. Let him set all his stuff up, set his gear up, raided him. Now 420, I believe, is going to be bought. It has value. If it hasn't been sold already. Has anybody been to Cannabis Culture headquarters lately? My God. Guess what? There, I guess, really isn't much one. I haven't been down there myself. I was disgusted with some of the actions, so I've basically stayed away from that place for quite a while. And my understanding is that it's pretty much null and void now. It's very unfortunate to see that part of our culture die. At the same time, the Emorys made their choice. They made their choice to who they wanted to work with, what they wanted to do with the Cannabis Culture name, and what they thought legalization was going to look like with their buddy Justin Trudeau. And like I told Jody on her own show, debating her in her own yard, I said to Jody and the Young Liberals, where on paper are you telling us we can grow at home? Where on paper? Nowhere. They weren't ever planning to let us grow. This was supposed to be global monopolization and legalization for the corporations, not for us. We the people are not free. No, we the people are a profit margin. Depending on your ailments, it starts off with your ailments, because the more sicker you are, the more money you're worth. That's fucking sick to begin with, if they actually have an assessment on what my value is to buy their marijuana, and what a cancer patient's value is versus what a recreational weekend warrior's, value is. This has all been assessed and attested to, and it's very, very disturbing to think that they want to actually potentially try to shut down 420. And I'm still going to go back to, they're taking our protest almost away from us without us actually doing anything about it. Has anybody even stopped to think about that? Why are you paying to set up a booth illegally in a park? Okay, like, I understand what I'm saying here. In a park that has not given a $20,000 permit, let's say, because when you add up all the booths, it's about a $20,000 or $30,000 gig. It's not bad.
More than that. There's fucking hundreds of fucking booths there.
Well, then I don't know. Then there's $100,000. There could be $100,000 flowing through there. Point being is that, okay, again, I'm going to go back to this. This started as a protest. A protest to end prohibition and to legalize cannabis. Now, I would argue that we have legalized with additional criminalization, taxation, and quite frankly, this is not legalization. This is Reefer Madness 2.0.
Check YouTube.
Now, there's a lot of problems. I'm watching YouTube right here. We got a lot of problems with what's going on here. I'm not going to get into jumping on Mark. Mark Emery and Jody, honestly, I love them both. I love Jody. I can't say I love Mark. I don't know Mark that well. I've known Mark in the context of attending events. When I called on Mark to help us with the Allard trial, Mark helped. Aside from that, I'm not going to bang on the man. I don't fucking know the man. I know what it's like to be banged on by a bunch of little trolls that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So I'm not going to go down there. I see some of my other good friends like Mr. Kurt Tusaw, you know, a cannabis warrior extraordinaire that done numerous free pro bono work, numerous for the cannabis culture. In fact, getting himself thrown out of the NDP party because he was smoking weed on Pot TV. Y'all know him so well, you want to crucify him on the internet. Motherfuckers know this. You're going to have 100 activists coming back at you. His advancements in his life is his success. And for who are you? Man, woman, don't make a difference. Who are you to hate on another person's success? That's all I got to say on that. I see that stuff on the internet, and it's just sad because I know what it's like to be on the receiving end. So I don't mind continuing to be on the receiving end because it just becomes part of having a social media character. You got to deal with this shit. But, you know, Kurt Tusaw, we love you. We thank you for your work in Allard. We thank you for your work going all the way back to RV Barron. And I'm not going to go much further than that. I wanted to jump on that one part because it was important. It's also important for us to see what's going on because what they did to Thaddeus and what they've been doing, these are cops. I'm starting to sound like Alex Jones. I got my new microphone, so I'm starting to feel all fucking Alex Jonesy. But honestly, for real, cops are running our fucking country. Cops are running our cannabis show. The very cops that have arrested our brothers and sisters but laid no legislation, never sent no letters. There's been nothing. They've just slightly talked about letting our brothers and sisters loose that are in jail right now for previous cultivation and possession charges. Provided there was no additional charges, they should be set free upon legalization. But that hasn't even been done yet. Our country is in disarray, and nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to point fingers. Nobody wants to say anything because everybody wants to be politically correct in a land where you can't be politically correct anymore. Anybody in the chats want to open it up? I'm going to go into Facebook here. I'm watching the YouTube chat. I'm going to go into Facebook here and see what's going on. But what's your take on it? I want to hear. Do you feel it's a farmer's market or a protest? It's a protest for my right to liberty to stand in the rain, set up my goddamn thing. As long as I'm not interfering with anybody, I can stand and do whatever the fuck I want and hold a protest, and ain't nobody able to do anything about it. Now, the more of us there is, the better. Because the more of us there is, hence the term protest. And we all remember the roots. You see, I remember the roots. I've been doing no fucking shit. I've been doing this shit 25 motherfucking years. 25 motherfucking years I've been standing in that rain, wind, and fucking sunny days. Every 420. To get to here. I remember when we used to just circle arms when the cops came. And we all got jerked apart and arrested.
It's true.
That's how it was formed. That's how we started. 10 brave people willing to fucking stand up and do what was right. Stand up against the law because the law was unjust and wrong.
Yep.
Now we got 80,000 strong and people want to just make money. Profit, profit, profit. Now fuck that. There's still a protest. And you don't have to pay to protest.
No, you shouldn't.
And it's sad that they've commercialized. I'm sorry I'm ranting like I am, but at the same time I'm not sorry.
No. Because
I'm seeing what is a very much so needed protest now being bought and paid for by different people. Again, you want a nice stage performance, you want a nice little show to go to, you want to go see a bunch of little wares that might get raided at the end of the day where a bunch of undercover police are walking around filming people. You want to go have a good time with them, go ahead. Because it's going to be no difference than what they did in Alberta. But protests are free. They were the Emerys. I will say this much. I've always stood against the charging of booze. Their explanation that, oh, the city is making us do this. We have to do this because the city, we have to have room for the ambulance. I get that. I'm sure we would all get that.
I do agree.
If we just put 2 lines down that said no tents get set up on either side of this rope because this is the emergency lane. That's all you need at a protest. You do not need Cannabis Culture organizing this or whoever the fuck's organizing this year. You do not need to be paying these motherfuckers thousands of dollars, $500 here, $1,000 there, whatever, for these fucking booths, you know, so you can get a little square that they marked off that's in an illegal protest. It wouldn't be called a protest if it was legal, now would it? It would be called an event. I'm sorry. Rant over.
Well,
Go back to the. I'm going back to the Vicky Cam while I calm down.
It would actually be called a farmer's market, and that's what it is. In the last few years, we've been going and seeing it. You know, that's what it is. It's a fucking farmer's market. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I think we should be able to, whether that be daily, weekly, monthly, get together and sell our wares, sell our craft cannabis, sell the bath bombs that I make in my kitchen. I should be able to take these caps because they're fucking beautiful. You know, I'm not trying to pat my own, you know, but they're fucking beautiful. I should be able to take these beautiful caps right up front of my house and stand there because this is what I believe. And every person walks by.
And we do that from time to time.
Sometimes we do. Hey, what's up? But every single person walks by. Hey, what's up? You having a hard day? You want a little bit of happy? But I can't. If I want to protest, I can do it. I can stand up.
Hey, cheers, bongs up. What's up, brother?
You know what? To pay to stand in front of my house to do that would be silly. And I'm with Jason. It's a farmer's market, and there's nothing wrong with that. And again, I wish that I could do that, but I can't. Those are the regulations and the laws that we're working in. But to pay somebody to protest, I think is crazy. You know, I understand that we have to pay for, you know, garbage removal in the grass and all this other shit. So if there was a detailed, you know, I don't know how we would come together as a community to figure out the bill. Or do we even need to figure out the bill?
That's a good question.
I don't know, because it's a protest.
Again, there is no bill to a protest.
I hate to say this, but there isn't really a bill to a protest. You might fuck.
Can somebody please, anybody want to pull me up a protest anywhere in the world? Anywhere in the world where there's a protest where they have admission fees at the door?
There isn't, and that's
you see, this is the thing is when they
retracted there.
The way that no, you're right, though, 100%, babe.
Yeah.
The thing we have to remember and we need to think about, 420 was birthed from people willing to stand in the rain.
That's right.
And risk going to jail, eating a rubber sandwich, having cold coffee in the morning because I was one of them. I chained myself to the wall, to the apartment walls to get my HIV meds way back in the day when we were dying like flies. So trust me, I know a lot about how it is to fucking stand and make these protests. But my God, it is a protest. It is a constitutional right to assemble and protest. It is not a constitutional right to sell drugs at the protest. Now that's your belief system. That's fine.
I agree, but
and I support your belief system. And I believe the laws should be changed. However,
Keith,
back to nobody should be paying for a fucking booth at a free fucking protest. Not with 80,000 strong. No way.
Keith Cabral, honestly, you know what, brother? This is the comment of the week. Admission to a protest 99-cent sale. Sale price.
But that's a sale of that becomes an event. It becomes a sale event. It becomes a sale event. That's what I mean. It's no. As soon as you add a price of admission, it's an event, and then you need a permit, and that's what we don't have, or we wouldn't be calling it a protest. So why are we paying whoever John Doe is this year, whoever bought 420 from the Emrys? You gotta remember, they're all gone. Who owns 420? See, we, the people, used to own it. Now, the corporations, and not even, I wouldn't even say our culture is starting to lose it, because if they rated Thaddeus at an event, I believe they will start to hit our booths at 420, starting with some of our largest ones.
I read on the internet, and I don't know if this is true, I'm going to Google this and see if I can find any, excuse me, somebody had posted during the week that there was some arrests last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know about that.
I didn't know that. I'm going to Google that. I don't know if that was fake news, so don't quote me. I'm going to Google this right now.
No, I hope you guys are loving this, because honestly, I would love to know if you're watching, especially my friends on YouTube, man. You guys are fucking awesome. But honestly, let's keep this real. You know, what is it in America? Once you legalized in California, what happened to 420? Once you legalized in Oregon, what happened to 420? The first state to legalize, Colorado. What happened to 420? Did it get bought out and monopolized? Or did it remain a protest to keep changing the laws so the federal government would actually legalize or nationally?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And do you pay somebody to have booths, space for you to put up your tent in a free protest where you still might get arrested? There's no protection. You're paying $500 for what? To say you're attending a protest? To know that you're going to have a spot? I can assure you from my years of attending the protest, there's no guarantee that you got your spot that you paid for.
You better hustle your ass.
You better get your ass down there before dawn and make sure you're ready to get it on.
Literally.
Fucking real, talking real from the 604.
Yeah, man, you got to be down there at 5 a.m. That's no joke.
There's no fucking joke in that shit.
You got to be down there at the crack of dawn to you secure your paid-for spot because some asshole will just steal it from you.
And they do. And there's not much you can do because once they post up, there ain't nothing you can do.
People are intense, right? Like
nobody wants violence because there's cops watching. Everybody, because cops up on the hill with their scopes. They're using Stingray technology now. They're using facial recognition on all of us activists and people like myself. It's fine. My face is right here. It's on the internet. It's been here for fucking past 11 years. Ain't going nowhere. You know, like fucking. We're gonna continue. But for the motherfuckers taking money for protest, it's wrong.
I think it was honestly. You know what? Sadly, don't quote me, but I think. The article that I read on the news was may have been some arrests at the art gallery last year, but that's still a 420 protest.
That was a secondary protest, though.
Secondary protest, regardless, it was still one, and I believe there may have been. So, Jason,
I remember you're right that we were in Ontario last year, so that we were there last year doing the 420 fights.
It was fun. Let me hit your.
Alrighty.
Dabbers up, was everybody down?
So
it's Friday night.
It is fucking Friday. TGIF. Fucking cannabinoids. Thank God it's Friday and there's cannabinoids. You see these motherfucking bubbles? I know a lot of people don't know what this is. Believe it or not, this is 2 plants worth of oil. This is the smallest experiment I've ever done.
It's thick though. You can't see it.
But I proved it to Vicky already that you can flip this to live resin. I can flip this now to live resin. But what I'm doing is actually diamond mining. You can see in the bottom of this jar that I'm collecting diamonds.
Put on the little side cam. It's
awesome. Wait a sec. Yeah, that side cam's good for this shit. Hang on a sec here. We're going to pull up a couple news articles here as well, but where's that camera? There, you see all those? See, so this is sort of your... It's got a long process to go still.
I'll have it.
But if I take this right now and just whip it,
no.
It'll actually turn into a fast butter, and you'll be like, I recognize that. It'll go into a nice white, creamy butter. It's not what I want because I'm collecting diamonds. So
let's dab some.
That's what's happening right now. And no, we're not opening it, and we're not dabbing it. Here's some dabs right here. If I open it, I'll whip it, and it's all bad idea from there. Anyway, and we also did fresh frozen now. Again, the difference with this extraction that people need to understand is when you do a fresh frozen plant, which I've never done, so it was take all your buds off, cut them up. What?
You guys suck so long, you gotta refill your torch hardcore. I love it, James. You know what, man? This is probably like the second one today at least.
Oh, fuck yeah. Shit, look how dirty well, she cleaned this one just before the show, but I was gonna say this is just from today's usage. It gets cleaned nightly, the glass, but man, it gets a lot of crap on there. But in this, where'd I put that jar? In this jar, part of me wants to take it out and show you guys and whip it, but we don't have the camera to properly show you. I really want you to be able to see it. But at the same time, I'd like to be able to see you guys to be able to see the diamonds that are forming.
The side camera, we can see it, but it's when I'm watching it.
Yeah, no,
it didn't work.
Yeah, no, it did. There's a delay, hun.
Oh,
there's a delay. Oh no, you know what? I'm showing them here, and I didn't send it over. Dumbass, Jason. That's what good dabs do to you.
What those hardcore dabs do to you.
Well, you look at that nice color, and this is only.
I agree, Jason. Don't whip it. Exactly. Thank you.
48 hours.
Thank you.
40. This is 48 hours in, and
Don't
no.
Do it.
I know if I whip it, I whip it good. No. It's not that kind of whipping, but. It's whipping nonetheless, but no, we're not going to whip it because we are actually diamond mining. This is the best diamonds are formed.
I'm with Paul, just smoking.
I did my
Thank you,
Paulie. I did my homework on this, and diamonds are made best from fresh frozen. So you cut up your buds really fine as best you can, and then you freeze them. I pack, freeze them. And you make sure that it's nice and solid. Most importantly, that you cut those buds up. You don't want ice cubes because the butane ain't gonna go through an ice cube. So you gotta think it's just gonna be a frozen big blob. You don't want that. So cut it all up as if you were gonna smoke it.
Makes sense.
It's fresh, it's wet, and then you leave it in the freezer for at least 6 to 8 hours. Remember, ice cubes take that long to freeze. So
or longer, preferably, quite frankly.
Honestly, 12 hours. What we do. We did 12 hours. Did overnight. Next day, you're clear to go ahead and run it through your system. You do that, and you will trap all of your terpenes and your flavonoid profiles. I can taste and smell. I can smell my plant and then taste it. When I smoked it, I could actually taste the flavonoids. It was amazing. It was the most amazing thing, and that's where we're at with this right now. And I part of me wants to whip it because I know I got that back.
Need a quality strain to make diamonds. I agree. You know what? We
have top quality strains. Actually, we blasted the strains you guys seen on the show.
That's what I was gonna say.
Any of our regular viewers.
This was our actual Dennis. This was our homegrown. This is our homegrown.
From our tent.
From our tent, from our guerrilla tent in our home. This is like literally soil oil in your kitchen. What you can accomplish in your home, right? And the beauty of this is that it's fucking clean. It's gorgeous, and this was grown in our home. I believe this is the ATF. This is Alaskan Thunderfuck. Genetics are going back to like 1980. I can't even describe the terps, man. They fuck. They were incredible.
Like literally, I gotta squeeze this jar so hard that she can't open it, so I know she can't get into it at night like a mouse.
Love that shit.
Because honestly, she's like a mouse when it comes to dabs, especially ones like this. Because what we did was we took a sample of the extraction syrup. And we just whipped it and turned it into live resin real fast. Just a quick flip. And I was just like, damn, that's a freaking wicked live resin. But then we realized it was like, whoa, there's the constitution. It's not hard. It's not sticky. It doesn't snap.
It was awesome.
It's not crumble.
Right out of the bowl.
Yeah,
so you could
just run your thing right down, and it was like whipped cream.
Yes.
And when you dabbed it, it was like, you want to sit down because you don't want to pass out.
You make your own shatter. It gets to that point of glass. You're like, oh, I gotta get a razor. I gotta try and scrape this off. It's a real bitch job. Nobody wants to do it. It's no fun. You end up losing stuff. This was really malleable, so while it was warm, you could literally just pour it right into a mason jar. It was so easy to work with. Again, and this was made in our home. So from the soil to the oil, from from fire to flame, this is what we can accomplish in our homes. And the beauty of the ACMPR, if you haven't got yours, go get one. The beauty of attaining your ACMPR license means that you can grow whatever your body needs. My body needs a lot of plants because I consume a lot of weed.
What's the name of that LP that got busted?
My doctor was willing to work with me and provide me the amount of cannabinoids that I need for the day. What was that, huh?
What was the name of that LP that got busted?
Oh, Bonafide. Bonfiy. I was like reading that a couple weeks ago. I'm sure everybody did. Like 11:30 at night. Like, oh my god, they got caught for selling black market weed. Anyways, laughing my ass off. The ridiculousness is a country that cultivates some of the best cannabis in the entire world. We cultivate some of the best green in the fucking world. And we have a shortage. Right? How the fuck can there be a shortage?
There's no shortage.
There's no shortage. It's all their bullshit regulations, and if there's a piece of mold and a piece of dirt, there's no... First of all, they obviously weren't, adhering to any of the regulations because my understanding was multi-weed ended up in the cologne store. So...
I'm just pulling it up now. I'm pulling this up in our news for you guys now because it's almost 200 kilograms. These guys were backdooring in a shipping container, backdooring a BC bud that they have obtained, and they were bringing in to then sell back to patients at a highly inflated cost. And we're the gangsters. Oh no, hold back the patient gangsters. We got the safe corporations coming in. The safe corporations will never hurt us. Nope, we can trust them. I am not all he is, man. Seriously, I'm only banging on the big guys, but you know what? This makes a mockery of the entire system, and it really helps. It helps us for future cases.
It's hilarious. It really is to keep.
Yeah, just how stupid this really is. This is really, really, really stupid. It doesn't get any stupider. So let me just work on getting this pulled up here. I'm going to switch back over to the Vicky cam here.
Hopefully you guys have seen this article too. It's Bonafide. I'm going to spell this out one more time. If you haven't read this story, you have to. Bonify. These are the caps again that I make in my house, in my home, in my kitchen. You know what? It would be a lovely world if I could stand out front and everybody that walks by with some kind of ailment. And I actually foresee CBD actually becoming more of a vitamin. And that's what's happening in America. Jason's been saying it for years, but CBD essentially, I really believe it will follow suit as the U.S. is doing, and it will become more of a vitamin and a a product that we all take in the morning, like, again, a multivitamin. It's moving, in America, it's moving away from, completely medicinal compounds to natural health products. So don't get me wrong, we all know that there's mad amounts of medicinal compounds in CBD, but to see it as a natural health food product would be amazing, because that means I could trip up to, my Body Energy across the street, pick up a little CBD isolate, pick up some CBD cream, pick up a topical, pick up a rub, whatever I need. I make all that in my kitchen, but not everybody has access to this. Not everybody knows, once they get it, how to make maybe how to make bath bombs, how to make topicals, how to make a tincture, how strong. I know in my early days when I was making my own oils several years ago when I first started out, I had so many misses. And when you're spending a couple $100 an ounce on flour and then maybe a couple $100 on CBD isolate, by the time you've gotten through your mix, you're $300, $400, $500 deep. And when you fuck it up, which we all do, everybody does, I don't care who you are, unless you maybe there's that 10%, there's a 10% rule. I'm not going to say nobody. That's not true. Somebody out there got it from the jump and they were like the most blessed person. The rest of us had many fuck ups and you lost your medicine and you were like, fuck, right? I'd love to be able to just share this with people. What a world. And Jason's, I'm hoping that we get to that point. But Bonafide didn't want to play by the rules and they got caught for it. So you know what? Like,
Back 1, 2, on 2, we're back. Sorry. Technical difficulties. I switched off there. I got to bring this down to a different level. It has to be on the same as my microphone level, or on different than my microphone level. I see. Broadcast software. What can I tell you guys? Live and improv. Live and improv. And we are 42 minutes. We got 15 minutes left. 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
I got a question for everybody because I've gotten this a few times. I actually emailed the people that are supposed to be consulting earlier and said I was going to follow up after the show because I was vibing, we're having a good time. Anyways, but Bonnie, you know what? It's a great idea about the book. The CBD consulting thing is becoming a more and more part of my life, and I love it. I love sharing. I love educating. I love counseling. It was what I did before I got sick. So being able to volunteer my time and share my experience, my strength, my hope in a new way has given me purpose and meaning. It's such a wonderful gift. It's really a gift. So yeah. If anybody's, out there and they would, maybe putting a little book together, maybe doing a little seminar, would that be something people would be interested in me, Jason, coming into your town or coming into Vancouver or writing a little book, doing maybe a webinar, so everybody maybe a webinar, so we could all hang out together. Would a webinar be something that people are really interested in doing, like maybe webinars in the kitchen? The next round I make my CBD tinctures or my bath or whatever I'm doing. I do something often. Usually every week there's something, once or twice a week there's something going on in the Canna kitchen. But yeah, if you guys would be interested in that, let me know. I'll follow up myself or Jason.
Okay, here. You know what? That's okay. I'll recapture the mic right here. Actually, I'll recapture the mic here.
All good.
No, this is it's only 15 minutes left here in the show to go. If you guys got any questions, now's the time to ask. So, and thanks to all of our sponsors, Beard Brothers Concentrate. Yes, it's feeding out to the audience. It's just behind. Anyway, shout out to our beard sponsors at Beard Brothers Concentrate. Green Planet Nutrients. I know, hon. There's a delay, huh? There's about a 5-second delay. You're on Facebook, so it's about 5 seconds with them. Couple seconds. It's even longer actually with YouTube. The delay in it. But anyway, a big shout out to our sponsors, Green Planet Nutrients, Pacific Northwest Garden Supply, Beard Brothers Concentrate. There's a list to go down. Herbal Passion, T&B Naturals, Gorilla Tents, and soon I think even this microphone company.
Shout out to MedTainer.
Shout out to MedTainer. Well, Medi John, we're going to be seeing Medi John. I might even grow some of Medi Kush from John.
Nice.
I don't think I've grown that before, so I'm going to switch this back over.
Sorry, what I was saying before we cut off, if you guys are interested in doing like a webinar or sort of maybe a get-together, a learning annex night, coming into a community center, Jason and I, Jason sharing, the Allard, the cultivation, that aspect, and myself sharing recipes, how-tos, DIYs in the kitchen. If you guys are interested in, doing a webinar or hosting an event and, something like that, we currently share our time. This is free, but I would love to share and volunteer my time in any kind of way. I know Jason would. So yeah, if you guys are interested, please shoot us an email. Shoot a post in Cannabis in Canada. Maybe we'll do a webinar in the group sometime. Host a little watch party, and we'll do something like that. But yeah, if you guys are interested, let us know. Because again, if you're starting off and you're just buying your oils, you're spending hundreds of dollars. A couple $100 on an ounce of flour, $100 on a gram of isolate. Now you've got to put in your magic butter. It's fucking scary, right? Because now you're talking $300-400. I know I've put stuff in there and I haven't got the same out. I know that I've messed up in my kitchen time and time again. You know what? And nobody wants to do that. And when you're on a pension, that's not even a joke, man. That's your freaking medicine for the whole month, right? So again, if you guys would be interested in anything like that, let us know. Because man, I used to get so pissed in the kitchen. And if you're having any of those experiences, let us know. We would love to help in any way possible. Right?
Absolutely. And that's an important part. It's like CBD. Okay, I want to touch on something here, and now Vicky, you're going to be able to attest to this.
Yep.
Let me just move the mic out of my face here. Okay, it helps. And get YouTube. I want to be able to see the comments so we can actually.
Do you know what's weird on YouTube? I can't comment. So every time I put the comments up, it's
they don't like you.
It's cutting my feed, so I can only see the.
They're just saying we don't like you, Vicky. We don't want you on there. Because I can comment just. I mean, just comments just fine. There's tons. YouTube's on fire.
I don't know. You know what? I had a blast on there the other day, and I can't get back on.
Oh, now they're saying no audio, so I got to go back and find out.
Oh, no, it's fine. No, we're good. That's probably delay.
That could be delay. Check. No, we're good. Delay. That's definitely delay.
You know what, Jacinta? There's a lot of folks that, when I was in Ontario for many, many moons. So that's why I was thinking maybe like a webinar, maybe hosting something, a watch party in the group. Jason and I are often doing things. A couple times a week I'm in my Canada kitchen whipping up something, and yeah, if people are struggling and if this would be helpful, I would love to help in any way. And again, I know Jason would. It took us so many years to get to this point of recovery, and every time I get an opportunity to share how I got here, it gives my pain and my suffering meaning. And it helps me make sense of why the fuck it happened. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck did this happen to me? Why the fuck did this happen to my family? And every time I meet with somebody and they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. And then I'll get an email, I made your tincture and it's bomb. That's why I go to bed happy. And then, I realize, okay, that's why those accidents happened. That's why I have that experience. So that right now in this moment, I can be here with you and I can share with you and you can share with me and I can get something from this experience. I can grow and learn as a human and become a better human. And so can you, hopefully, right? And that's the beauty of the give and take of the relationship. So yeah, if we can, participate in that in any way, for me, that is probably one of the most thrilling things in my day, is getting to share my knowledge about CBD, because it has changed and transformed my life and given me the ability to have meaning and purpose again. And being purposeless is hopeless. If you're out there and you are hopeless, there's a ton of phone numbers. I'm going to post them later. There's lots of services, lots of help. Don't be lonely on the weekend. Reach out, pick up the phone. Go say hi to your neighbor, go out to Tim Hortons, and even if it's just a smile to the Tim Hortons guy and then you get a smile back, just recognition, this hey, you know, that smile that, hey man, what's up, how you doing, you're not alone in this world. It's so important, because when I was alone and I was sick and I was suffering, some days that was very overwhelming. So if you are there, you know, we're sending you all the love, all the good vibes, all the healing energy that, you know, that I have and that Jason has, and how wonderful weekend as we're wrapping up. I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, we're not fully wrapping up here. We still got about 15 or another 10 minutes. But you know, if you do have questions, now's the time to ask. And I did want to touch on CBD, because there's something I realized that a lot of people in Alberta, must be trendy to dab CBD in Alberta right now, and I'm not sure why that's the case.
I dab it sometimes.
But you know, no, but there's a reason I'm getting. Just let me. Check. Okay, we're back. All right, sorry. We were talking about the crystalline. Sorry, guys. I'll just start right over. If I'm repeating myself, I apologize. But the crystalline is it's something, again, that you're going to pay anywhere from $25 to $80 a gram for, depending on what your source is and how well connected you are within the culture, the industry in general, and of course the purity. I've recently released videos of just little ways you can check at home just to have an idea of what you're getting, so you're not getting ripped off. Because there's a lot of guys out there buffing CBD with all kinds of stuff. So the best thing you could do is put it into purified water and take a nice good. You can use even just your if you have an S8 or later phone in the Android version, or likewise in the iPhone, those cameras can easily zoom in enough to see the crystals. And if you can't see crystalline floating on top, then that's not CBD. CBD is 100% oil. So as water, it's not going to sink. It's going to repel. No, it's not. It's made of oil. That's what I'm saying, is it's going to repel water. So it's going to float on the top. Most importantly is when you zoom in with your camera, it looks like little snowflakes. And if there's impurities, you'll see them. And the other impurities will sink to the bottom. Now, if you got a bunch of stuff at the bottom of your cup, and then you still got CBD floating on the top, well, now you got the Chinese stuff they're shipping over the border and selling to you for $5. Only you're buying it for 25. You know, or 30.
My biggest concern with that, right? I'm just gonna say what it is. My biggest concern with that is there's no fucking way that that's not GMO'd. Not ours is non-GMO'd, but that China. I'm not saying this, but a majority of the Chinese CBD that's coming in, it's not only is it buffered, it's genetically modified. It's a fucking genetically modified hemp plant. I do not want to consume genetically modified anything, foods, drugs, anything. I do not want to consume some engineered shit product. So if your starting product's GMO'd, I don't want it.
And so another important part here, I'm going to make sure this direction, I'm going to point this towards you, that way there. I'll just sit over a little closer to you.
Not only is this product lab tested, this is a lab tested product, but I would eat this. I would.
I was just going to touch on something again. Yeah. There was people. There was a thread going about CBD, and people were talking about. They were talking about crystalline and really what the difference is. And in essence, it's just a bunch of little crystals. It's food grade crystalline, and it's done through a lab. So then they say, well, has it been tested for pesticides and impurities? And it's like, dude, what part of 99.5% pure don't you understand? That's pure CBD. So no, there's no pesticides and residuals. Yes, a lab would test for that. Otherwise, they wouldn't call it pure. They would call it pesticides and fucking residuals plus CBD, 95%.
Let's just dab some.
Do you understand? So honestly, guys, it gets frustrating because we try to really get the right information out because we want people to make sure you're getting the right CBD. The hemp farmers are recognizing the value. The Chinese recognized the value a long time ago. That's why you can get, when you order your CBD, FDA approved, CBD, that stuff has 40% buff, 10% stabilizer. So then you got 50% CBD. So you're really only getting 50% of what you think you're buying.
Anyway.
But here nor there, I can go on about the lack of education in CBD. It's just not out there right now. It is a big issue, but there's people spending a lot of money. It's $600 a vial like this, $600. And it's hold on. No, till I seen the picture online.
I shared it.
Australia.
I shared that one.
Okay, $600 for a vial like this. Only, nowhere near 1,000 milligrams because they're not allowed to go over 30. It's wrong. I was in Australia. They're great people, wonderful people, but their judicial system sucks because it will not stand up to the political arm in that country. Supposed to be a Commonwealth country, supposed to have liberties and freedoms. Thank God. The one thing, Justin, one thing, I've never been a Justin supporter, but Lord knows that I love his father for writing the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. For without that Charter of Rights and Freedoms, we would not be sitting here today being able to fight for our freedoms. It gave us that ability to fight back, to implement a pushback, and to change laws for the better of our people and the better of this country. Now that cannabis has finally been freed, why are we suppressing the medical value of cannabis and just trying to make it into a weekend warrior, go to the liquor store just like you go to the CCBO, and that's it? And hey, kids, stay away from it because it's dangerous. Or if you're going to try it, at least try a really low indica and a high CBD. It's like, where the fuck are you getting this information from? Like honestly, lobbyists must say this, give them big money, say this, and give them more money. And then they go and they actually say it. And it's like, how stupid are you? It's like saying that there's non-medical users just so they can tax you. None of y'all stop to think, why am I being taxed? Man, why did I just pay all that tax on that fucking ounce of weed? It's because you're too stupid to recognize you are medical and you are not a non-medical user. There's no such thing.
I know.
The way cannabis goes through the endogenous system and the CB1 and CB2 receptor cells, you have to be an alien to not have it be medical.
Benefits from the fucking compounds, from the properties of the cannabinoids. You have to be essentially an alien for it not to do something. Even in, Jason said it a million times, even in its least favorable form, which would be smoking consumption. You know what I mean? It's the least favorable form, even if you're sitting around blazing joints 24/7, even just sitting around smoking backwards cigars all day long, guess what? You're still getting benefits from those cannabinoids.
Yeah. And that's the thing people don't realize, and now more and more are realizing, and that's what I don't want to see the government, because the only reason you're non-medical users, and the only reason they want to scrap, and they are going to make an attempt to remove. Let's do a couple of really big CBD caps.
I just did a big dab.
Let's do a big. Well, I'll do a big CBD dab too.
Yeah, I'll do a big dab.
But now this defeats my argument earlier today online. I'm going to turn around and do a big CBD dab only because we can afford to do it right now with our CBD supply. But for those that don't, dabbing CBD is more of a temporarily. You're going to feel a little bit of just
really
relax. There's no psych. That's the thing, people. It's not the same as THC. It's not going to make you start bugging out and start fucking.
Sounds like I bet you aliens grow their own strains. I bet you they motherfucking do.
Fuck you. I believe aliens gave us cannabis, and they showed some Chinaman how to yield it. They say, hey, there's terpenes in this shit. You can make rope, dope, and everything else in between.
I'm not sure about that, but I do believe they're out. Well, they might be out there. And
no, man, the ganja god. There's definitely a ganja god. I believe there's a ganja god that's sitting up there smoking weed, laughing right now. Yeah, motherfucker, you know I exist. And I'm like, yeah, you do. You're Mother Nature. You're part of Mother Nature, but you're one of those ganja gods because you gave us cannabinoids. People still don't want to realize the lock and key to most cancers. And the World Health Organization just reclassified cannabis because they know it's a lock and key for these cancers. I've been talking about this for 5 years on my show. Oh, man. Way to shut me up.
Go. It's a nice dab.
Oh.
what?
Not CBD. That's that flavor.
Yeah. It focuses you. It really calms you down. Yeah, for people that are out there, and I find when I'm having a real day when I'm kind of vibing up here, and when you're stressed and in pain, when you're in pain, that effectively the immediate response of the body is to activate stress, and that stress activates cortisol. Not to get all physical, but immediately as soon as the brain thinks pain, stress is immediately going on. That's the residual from that. So, you know, if I'm really vibing up here on one of those days, I do dab CBD. I don't dab a lot of CBD because I don't need to.
Actually, that's a sealed jar.
Yeah.
That's a brand new
There's
jar.
a couple of tinctures, yeah.
Yeah, we heat seal the jars at the top so they're tamper proof, so people know when they open it that it's never been.
Yeah, that it's brand new.
Yeah. Sorry, I just realized that. Sorry.
It's in there the whole time.
Hey, the dabs also hit me. So I go back to what we're talking about here.
CBD distillate would, you know what? I've only had the blessings of dabbing that a handful of times, Jason. But I totally agree with you. That's beautiful. Honestly, that's some real nice medicine. CBD distillate is nice, but again, I haven't.
And I would believe that would make sense. But again, in distillate, you're talking about highly. It would be like how when we dab this, like I say, this is 99 point.
When you say
this is 99.5% pure, whatever it was in the lab test. And that's why I think when we dab on it, why she calmed me down like she did. I can go from her. She knew just to stick this stupid. And I hate it when she does
Donald's
that.
asking, what would a jar? I'm not sure. Contact the Herbal Passion.
Oh, I wouldn't know on cost-wise. I mean, basically right there, you wouldn't believe this, but the molecule, that's that's about an ounce.
Yeah.
So there's about an ounce, give or take, and that's just looking at that. It's a very, very heavy molecule.
Very.
There's trade secrets. Honestly, if you're going to start making your own oils with CBD, you should really, really talk to people in the industry already making oils and do your homework. Because if you make your oil the wrong way, you can actually mess up and actually nothing. It won't be equal. It won't be equally infused. It will actually not, because of your processing methodology. And I'm telling you now, I've personally made the mistake.
Same.
And then I've learned.
I've also, and I didn't know this, I presumed that CBD was just like THC when we first started making tinctures a couple of years ago. I didn't know why mine wasn't working. Well, mine wasn't working because literally I was turning off my magic butter maker, taking an ounce of CBD and just going whop right into scalding hot oil and burned off all of the CBD. CBD, that property burns at a lower heat, much lower than a lot of the other cannabinoids. So, your oil just needs to be kind of warm. It does not need to be hot. Do not add CBD isolate to hot oil. You will burn off your cannabinoids and you will waste your money. And that is just like, there's a sadness in my heart. I know because I did it several times until, what's going on, the medicine isn't working. It worked one time, it did that. You do some research, you're like, oh.
Justin says, let's do another CBD dab. Justin's going to grab his CBD. We'll do another CBD dab, but this is something I was saying don't do earlier, only because I wanted patients to understand the value in bioavailability when you add it to coconut oil and you then put it in your stomach. You're getting 3 times the potency that you would get by just simply dabbing. And that's what I was trying to really get across to people. There's value in the delivery mechanism. CBD is not meant to be dabbed. It doesn't have the full cannabinoid spectrum. So if you're dabbing it expecting to get woohoo high and start sweating, it's not going to happen. It's not Turk sauce. But it will, ironically, and this is where I would argue with the doctors when they say there's not a psychoactive effect. I would say, well, if it counters anxiety, that's psychoactive. It's just in a different way.
There's something.
It's a calming effect. It's really hard. It's really hard to put it into 2 terms. But you dab it, it calms you. You've seen it. I was kind of ranting there, and I do that from time to time.
Very calming. And you know what I find? My son is in university, and Chris's husband's very speedy. He's been one of those kids. He's very smart. And I love that that really motivates him, that pushes him. He vibes way too high, but again, he's like a type A personality, very much like my sister.
And like somebody else I know named Vicky, but
I'm not. I don't vibe as high as them.
Want to bet? Well, she can vibe that high. Trust me.
I don't think I do. But anyways.
But I love her to death.
I do. Well, I'm not as bad as them, but I begged him to try CBD because I feel that honestly, it could really take Chris, like me. You're right, from here to here.
It's weird when you're talking to your kids too, because in this generation now both of our kids both of our kids are growing up, but they're starting to realize not only is it a commodity to have cannabis, but it's almost from the lawyers to the doctors to the to everybody is using cannabis, and that's where where the normalization. Often said, with legalization will come normalization. It'll be like the aloe vera plant in the 70s. You weren't allowed to have it, but now you see one in almost every window. And you can go and put it on a burn, no problem, and it's not illegal. But it's still available in every health food store as well. And I believe cannabis should be the same thing. It should have an NHP number, a natural health product number. If it had that, then we wouldn't have this problem. But instead, they want to continue to classify it as a drug because it's worth so much money. Follow the money, you'll follow the policy, you'll follow the BS, you'll follow the legal cases, you'll follow all of it by following the money.
Jason, that's a good point. That's actually a great point, especially with 420 around the corner and like new dabbers coming out, virgin dabbers just getting, maybe a little too crunk. A CBD dab will take somebody that's on like the verge of greening out and hopefully
calm your ass down.
Bring them back from that, right? And we don't want anybody's experience to be green out. We've all greened out. It's not fun. Chin to the chin, oh God, I'll never do it again. Or you're passed out. Whatever it is, it's not pretty. This could definitely bring you back from the ledge. That's a great point.
But most importantly, now I will double down on that. Take that and put not even half gram, a quarter gram into a capsule. Then add a little squirt of, with an eyedropper, coconut oil into that cap. Put the top on. Take that cap, and you're gonna feel better for the next 3 or 4 hours. And Vicky can attest to this. She goes to her yoga this way.
Yep.
She triples her dose of CBD that she would normally do, which I don't like because, of course, it's an arm and a leg to get this shit sometimes. Anyway.
But it's only 3 more
a week.
She
takes 3 times the dose because it puts her in the zone to stretch better, to stretch further, and to reach her goals that she's trying to reach. Yes. And so she started me literally on a regimen. I just realized that it's a neuroprotectant. I didn't necessarily know that about CBD, so we don't talk enough about that because when it's a neuroprotectant, and I'm going through my own stuff right now with my own age and my own fucking.
We all should be wanting to protect our
I'm thinking
brains.
man, I want to clean my brain up. I want it to be as clear as it was when I was younger. So I go back to trying to clear my brain up. Now I find out it's a neuroprotectant. It's like, okay, well then we should be paying more attention to how much CBD we're taking and how much CBD we wish to continue to take. And most importantly, understanding bioavailability by way of oil. And that's important. Coconut oil, basically you're looking for the fatty oils. You're looking for the omega-3s. They convert a lot in your body. If you look up the research on this, you'll understand what I'm saying. The omega-3s are very, very, very important in that process. Because when you add that with either avocado oil or coconut oil, which are both extremely high in triglycerides, and I believe that's the fatty acids, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it has everything in there. Now again, the avocado.
Can I cut in? I'm so glad we did this. I'm going to start loading my pan with CBD isolate on the way to the gym. Man, that feels good.
The IVD. What the hell was I even just talking about?
Right, you too. You're giggling.
No, but what the hell was I talking about? It's not so much that I'm giggling. All right, you know what, guys? We'll be back in about exactly 1 minute. This is because we've just started to work again on the Coalition documentary. And due to that, we figure we may as well keep putting out this teaser, and then we'll be releasing some more. So we'll see you in exactly 60 seconds, and then we'll probably get ready to close out the show. Post up any questions you got, because we got to go. See you in 1 minute. All right, welcome back to Cannabis Canada. Robert Allen, is there any CBD value in the fan leaves? First off, let's break down where CBD is located. So on your fan leaves, yes, you develop trichomes. So if you developed a trichome, so you're looking now on a microscope, you got a little thing that looks like a mushroom, has a little tiny head on it. That's known as a trichome. Now on this little head and in this stalk, moreover in the head, is where the majority of the cannabinoids reside. Now there is where you'll find CBD, on the inside of the trichome and with all the other oils. And really hard to get to, and it's exactly where your full cannabinoid profile is. The essential oils is the terps. So when the smell, when you smell the fragrance of weed, everyone says, oh, that smells dank. Well, that smell is terps. That taste, when you smoke it and you're like, oh damn, that shit like tastes wicked. What is that taste? That's flavonoids. Both of those are essential oils that reside outside of the trichome, not inside the trichome. So once you understand where your cannabinoids are found, then you can go to the lab and ask them to figure out how to extract it from that trichome.
Yes.
Now that is where my scientific knowledge stops. So CNC taps at the lab right there. So that's as far, but I can tell you where you can find your CBD, how to get it from that trichome into this powdered form. Yes. I cannot tell you the answer
now,
to
in case
that.
you're wondering what I'm doing, both of us are originally from Ontario, and if you're from Ontario like me, it's dry. It's dry many months of the year. And you get like skin conditions, eczema, dermatitis, this, that, and the next thing. I've had eczema for 100 years because of the winter. Back
right on.
East.
Just did a CBD diet.
I just read that. That was awesome. I know.
Sorry, I didn't mean
right?
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had to.
No, it's all good. But yeah, if you're back there and you're having these skin conditions, anyways, CBD has been scientifically researched and shown to be extremely beneficial for said skin conditions. So if you're wondering what's going on, I have like eczema. We had a really rough winter here in Vancouver. The first cold one, I've actually had to wear a winter coat. I'm not going to complain because it's not really all that bad. But anyways, regardless, I'm having the same conditions that I would have back east. In the wintertime, my skin's all cracked, it's bleeding, it's separating. It's quite painful. I rub CBD. I take this tincture, my olive oil tincture, and avocado oil tincture, and I rub that right into there. And honestly, it'll be cleared up within a couple days. Okay,
let me just jump on a couple questions here. Sorry, for our friends on YouTube. Now, CBD may not work for you. You need to understand.
No, it may not.
Let me just jump. Let me take this one on here because it's important. I feel the same way, and I'll tell you why. Due to my ailments, due to my own sickness, I need THC. I need to stimulate my appetite, and I need to be able to sleep. Two of the things CBD doesn't do. So we can't keep running CBD over and over and over in our heads. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by why my one show is taking so long to...
Oh, the leg, yeah.
Yeah. What was I just fucking covering there?
We're talking about CBD's not it's not, you know what, don't get us wrong, and we never said this, and if
Can
that
I
was
just...
sorry,
where was I?
We're talking about CBD not being a cure-all for everybody.
Oh, sorry, it's not a cure-all for everybody, but remember one thing, just like THC is not a cure-all for everybody. No. Now, if I was spazzing, if I suffered seizures, then I would need CBD.
Yep. But
I'm telling you, because of my ailments, CBD helps me with anxiety. Maybe I'm still experimenting with that. I don't know.
Some inflammation.
The papers are out on that. But when it comes to does CBD work for me in any other way? Absolutely not. I don't suffer from Parkinson's. I don't have anything else. I don't have any spasmodicity. There's no reason for me to take CBD. But it certainly makes me calm down.
Yep.
It certainly makes me feel a little better. I can't take away from that. I don't know why it does, but it's in its purest form. That the government will never allow the licensed producers. They can't go over 30 milligrams.
420?
Shit, we got 1,000 milligrams right there. Happy 420, everybody.
Happy 420.
Spark them if you got them. And that's important to understand. It's very important because although it may not have worked for you, just like for me, I take the CBD now when I'm working out because I realized when it made her flex better, it's obviously going to help my pump. So I'm using it for the same reason she is, only we're doing different stretching. At the end of the day, CBD, and the anxiety properties are amazing if you can get your hands on it.
Yes.
My issue is I don't want to see the government say THC, CBD. That's all there is.
No,
and there's that CBN thing when you blow off the atom, but
Yeah,
you know, and we don't want to talk about the other 100 phytocannabinoids that exist in the plant that we know about, that we've already identified. See, when the government wants to address that, then they're really addressing the medical properties of the plant. Right now, they're not addressing the medical properties. They're trying to pretend they don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's doing a huge disservice to Canada and to the world.
You know, you made a great point there, and it made me remember back to when THC was, 10 years ago, really the only primary, cannabinoid on the market was, right? I was dependent on mail-order sites back in Ontario, so really the only thing I could get my hands on was THC and our THC RSO oil. And I was watching all these videos and, watching kids stop, their seizures and watching people get out of wheelchairs and getting off their pain, and I wasn't having those results. And, it took 5 or 6 years and I was struggling with weed. I was actually kind of, like Jason can tell you this, I was kind of giving up on my strains for pains because I couldn't find one because I had given all of my attention, all of my energy to THC. Because a few years ago, Dennis, I didn't even believe that CBD worked. I kind of thought it was a snake oil too. I thought it was a load of hokey pokey. I really wasn't a big believer. And then a friend approached us and said, can you try these products? Anyways, it was life changing, and it was just, it kind of happenstance. It really
that's good karma. And thank you. Actually, that's a natural remedy. I will give credit. We don't work with the natural remedy any longer. But that being said, they introduced us to a whole new world of CBD and the wonders that it can do. And most importantly, I used to pack a walker around everywhere for my wife in case she had a flare up, and that. Check. Okay, I should be back now. I attribute that to the CBD, and again, a lot of Vicky's success, I attribute to the CBD. And where is that CBD? Here, put some on there. I already got it. Yeah.
I had some in here, sorry, that's why I did.
Okay. All right.
It'll take a minute.
And gone. Yep, no doubt. Hopefully it sounds back now.
Hold on, guys. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah, it sounds back.
Back.
Okay. I got to remember when I switch these cameras off or whatever. I got to be careful with the with how that works. But Dennis is right. You know what? Find the strain that's for your pain. For me, when I found CBD, I was years into pain. I was so grateful that I found it. But you're right. CBD isn't the solved problem for everybody. No,
but for many of us, it can be very, very helpful.
Jacinta brings up a great point here. When you're going through benzodiazepines of any sort, it's a very large class of drugs, very large family of drugs. If you're going through benzodiazepine withdrawal or opioid withdrawal, quite frankly, almost any withdrawal. Cannabis oils. Again, you got what you're going to be able to keep down because you're not going to want to smoke a joint. I can guarantee you that. I've been through opioid withdrawals. No. I would never want to go do it again. But that being said, diazepam and benzodiazepines in general is just as bad, and you can die. It's one of the only class of drugs that you could die from coming off of.
Yep.
And it's because you can seizure and die. And it's not a joke, and it can't be taken lightly. And Jacinta's saying she's stopping her seizures, or potential seizures by using CBD. I'm telling you, this banger's fucked. Totally fucked.
That wasn't bad.
Not bad, but still totally fucked. I'm sticking to my fucking little. I went and got this little shitty redneck. What's it called? Red eye tech. I don't know. Red eye, but it's supposed to be worn as a necklace, and it's like, what the hell is going to wear this? It is a good little pendant. Yeah, burn your tits off, man. No fucking way I'm gonna get a big burn mark. How do you explain having burn marks there?
I don't know.
Like, I mean, having torch, we all have our torch marks, but fucking, how you explain that shit?
I don't feel a little much.
Fucking. Welcome back to Cannabis to Canada. So, yeah, the other thing, Mr. Paul Hunt, how you doing, my friend? So it's all going there. Do we have any other closing questions? Jacinta, I hope you're liking the CBD,
Passion,
the Herbal Passion CBD, because we're very interested in hearing feedback from everyone, because it's not just about the taste, it's also about the effects. Because the one thing I can tell you is the Chinese stuff that they have basically for us is shit. I'm getting lost here. When I say the Chinese shit, they really. Check. We're back. No, it's weird that it would just
I don't know.
trip off like that. That's okay. I think we're just getting to the end of a show, and quite frankly, that's normal for our equipment to start to act up. There's 3 computers going at one time right now, plus a machine in the background, and 2 cameras and a microphone. So when you add all this stuff up, it's a lot running at one time. But we wanted to get this information out. We definitely wanted to talk. Keep eyes open for Herbal Passion. Go to the herbalpassion.net and check them out. And I believe their website is going to be launching soon. But when we stopped dealing with the natural remedy, we started dealing with the Herbal Passion. And since dealing with them, well, we have to have a source of crystalline. Again, we learned the difference between isolate and crystalline. Some will say that they're one and the same, because crystalline's just food grade, crushed up crystals that will break apart when they hit water, where other isolates will just drop right to the bottom like rocks, because they have, again, food stabilizers and stuff on them.
Jason's asking, I can't open up the rest of the comment. I'm having a hard, my iPad's acting up. All I can see,
I can't open up the rest of the comment either.
Vicky, with all your products, do I like turp sauce? I freaking love turp sauce.
Oh, that's the best.
I love turp sauce.
Now, should we spin it and make turp sauce?
I
can spin it and make turp sauce, Jason.
No, he said
Jason, you know it. Jason, tell me, want me to do it?
Absolutely. No, he said no earlier.
I'll do it right here on the camera. I'll do it.
That's a question. Do I still
I'll do it for the show.
Oil syringe?
I can take this and turn this into. I can turn this into live resin right now.
Yes, but no, I don't need to use the CBD RSO anymore. I find that making my own tincture when I make my own tincture, or when I buy the tincture, make my tincture, I think a lot of it, for me, really, the most important thing in my kitchen is the isolate. And then I found a great deal of success in these canna caps have been awesome. So I take these a few times a day.
This is what's funny. A lot of people think that we're just stoned, but there's a reason why we work on legal cases and we work on very high profile things. It's because
don't whip. See, thank you.
Okay, damn it. Fuck. Thanks, Jason, for having my back. You won't dab my gold when you come to town, man.
No, you know what? The isolate from the Herbal
I'm trying to
Passion,
self-justify this in some way. I'm seeing.
I figured I got the question right.
It's gotten all saucy.
No, we're not doing it. But no, you know what? The isolate that I get from the Herbal Passion is so clean, and it's been so effective in managing most of my symptoms that I haven't had to get a CBD RSO in months. Actually, that's it. I haven't thought about that.
No, we haven't needed that, and this is a thing. This is huge.
Yeah,
it's
I hadn't thought of that.
When we've been using, again, the thing is also getting the right dose. Now, anecdotal research will tell you 20 to 30 milligrams for a chronic CBD user that's using it for spasmodicity, inflammation, or anxiety. That would be the dose.
Yeah.
So that's why we do what we do in our in our tincture things, and why Yeah, because we just make them at home. We replicate what other companies do. We ask them what they do, and then we try to replicate it at home and make it as cheap as possible. Because it will only be smart to buy the crystalline if you can get it in its powdered form
And make
your own at home. Then go pay somebody else $80 to make it for you.
I've look at this bottle because I've reused it and actually made it that purchase into that process because you know what exactly I can kind of throw olive oil and this together and come out with something that works for me. I know what my dosages are. It's figuring out what works for you. Jacinta saying my muscles feel so relaxed. That's awesome. Hearing somebody else having the same experience that I had using the isolate makes me so happy. And I'm sure it makes the Herbal Passion happy because the intention,
I'm actually liking that better than I'm liking.
The intention of this medicine is to heal us.
Believe it or not, this here is shattery crumble that I made from my own shit, and I'm actually liking the CBD.
No, that's not it, is it?
Or yeah, no, it is. It's the stuff that we shattered off the bowl.
Oh, nice.
So this off the bottom of the bowl, shard off, whatever. It's that glassy shit that you get at the end when you let it go to crumble. Mm-hmm. But anyway, the fact that usually this stuff's like super strong, and I'm enjoying the CBD more than I'm liking that. It's just an example of where again I was saying I see CBD as it's not designed to be dabbed. When we make it 95% pure, yes, you can dab it and you can get a minor effect, but it's on and then it falls off.
But you know what?
Hold on. If it's on and it falls off, but then if you take a capsule, it'll last for like 3 hours. So when you're looking at what is it, again, I'm an advocate for disabled patients. They live below the poverty line. So when they have to spend that 1 gram, what's the most efficient way for them to use it? Put it in coconut oil and oil it.
I would absolutely agree. So for every single person, I agree with you. Even, but I think if you have anxiety, if you have mood disorders, things that are on the present, I need to control this now. I worked in mental health and I saw lots of people who were having anxiety attacks and couldn't leave, or OCD, and couldn't leave their homes and couldn't manage, again, activities of daily living, never mind getting a job. So I could see, my own son who's borderline kind of ADHD, person pretty racy. I can see somebody like my kid who's pretty racy having a little touch of this, a dab of CBD, and going, oh shit, yeah, wow, I'm really ready for class now. You know what I mean? My sister who's like way up here as a real estate agent, vibing like way down here, saying, yeah, a little dab of this, a little bit of this, and I'm feeling better. So I think you're absolutely right. All of us should be taking the oil, but I think you're right. Depending on what you're treating, CBD dabs could be really helpful.
Well, I'm really talking about your bottom dollar. If you can afford
to get the max out
if
of your
you can
dollar?
afford to dab, like, let me just put it this way: it's unfortunate that get a hold of the Herbal Passion. Let them know that you're interested in their product, because then you'll have a chance to, it doesn't take a lot. There's people out in different parts of the country already talking about the Herbal Passion. There's a few other companies that I'm not going to give props to because they're my friends' competitors. But I'm definitely going to say that CBD in the 20 to 30 milligram range is perfect. So those people doing 1,000 milligram tincture bottles, 30 milligram tincture bottles is making just the right dose. If you take these, you can make exactly 50 capsules. So if you want to try to figure out the ratios, you could do that. You get exactly 50 capsules. So 50 capsules, you shouldn't be paying more than, that's where really you lose your money, buying in capsules versus buying in a tincture, versus buying in a mason jar. Or the more amount that you buy, I think the smarter. But I don't know if the Herbal Passion sells that way or not. I don't think they do. But again, that's just me, common sense, trying to stay away from that optimal use. If patients can't afford, if you can't afford to use your cannabis, optimally, like most people would think it was insane if they knew how much cannabis gets thrown. Go.
Every opportunity.
Start now. You're gonna have to redo that. Sorry. Sorry, just had to. That was my fault.
You know what? I want to go back to what Bonnie's saying about anxiety. Your anxiety is so bad it's disabling. I can relate to that. When I was on a walker, there was a period where I couldn't leave my house. I didn't go out for a few years. I was pretty fucked up. And when you start living in your house and it becomes days, weeks, months,
you become a Netflix expert.
Well,
Sorry.
no, then it becomes very hard to get out. So I was only going to the doctor and coming home, going to the doctor, coming home. And that went on for a couple of years. And then you can't go shopping. And then I stopped going to the mall. And then I only was shopping in like Walmarts and like Loblaws, because back east, Loblaws carries clothing, Joe Fresh. So I was doing my groceries and buying my fucking clothes all at the same time. When I used to be a mall freak, I used to love shopping. I used to go out and enjoy myself, a girly girl. I stopped doing all that because my anxiety was crippling and I couldn't manage walking through the mall with a walker and wondering about what everybody's laughing at me and they're making fun of me and people are this and they're that and all of this shit. Nobody's ever laughing at me. Nobody's ever making fun of me. That never happened. But in my mind, it was disabling. So much so that I stopped going to the mall. I stopped shopping. I stopped taking care of myself. And I only shopped at Walmarts and Loblaws because that was what my anxiety could manage. That was it. I could manage going to the one store and doing one shop, one quick shop, getting the fuck out and going home. I don't want to go back to that, but can I relate to what it feels like to be like literally your throat shutting and not being able to breathe and just being like, oh my god, I just need to go home, being over here and sweating, all that good shit that comes with an anxiety attack whole system. Can I? And let me tell you, I couldn't tell you the last time I had one actually. And let me knock on wood once, twice, 3 times, just to be safe. Could I have one? Absolutely, because I had one after the accidents, and so could it happen again for sure. Haven't had one in a long time, but my goodness, I would love to see you on a regimen of CBD again, because the research suggests that CBD treats anxiety 100%. I'd love to send you some information. CBD oil, absolutely, I think would be great for you, getting you, dabs when you're in that vibing up too high and you want to bring it down, get a little dab pen. So maybe, if you have a dispensary close, if they have any CBD distillate on hand, that would be a great thing to pop into your purse. Pop that in your purse, we start, go up there, a little dab, go in the bathroom, little hoop, back to normal. Again, get you on some CBD oil, a tincture, get you on a regimen of CBD, start treating that anxiety every single day. Just like, if you're taking medicine from a doctor, the same thing. This is the same medicine, right? But boy, oh boy, I feel for you and I can relate. And I think a lot of us can. I think if you have health problems, you have an underlying anxiety, because we all are worried about our health. Tastes good. So I think, you know what I mean? So we all can relate to that. It's
Did you make CBD in there?
How much anxiety are you experiencing? For me, at one point, it was crippling.
Did you make CBD in this?
I put a little bit in there, yeah.
I was wondering why it tastes so good. I'm like, damn, that's good. I'm going to hit that shit.
Oh my god, I hate it going out. You know what's crazy about all this shit, right? For me, I couldn't deal with my own shadow. I couldn't deal with the fact that on a sunny day, I don't know, whatever way the sun was, I used to walk my dog all the time. That was about the extent of my day, was taking my dog out. And even that was a nightmare. I hated the neighbors, I hated people seeing me, but I was afraid of my own shadow, because when I would see it, all I could see was the walker ahead of me. He's old, crunched over, walking like this, walking like a question mark, hobbling with her gimp, really slow, and that was all I could see. And so every time I left my house and I saw that shadow, all I wanted to do was run back in my house. And that was like 7 years of my life. You know what I mean? When I say I didn't go out, I stopped going to my son's soccer. I stopped being a PTA mom. I couldn't go anywhere. I stopped participating in my life, my son's life, my family's life. I couldn't do anything. So, for me, CBD has been nothing short of a miracle. And not just, maybe I spend too much time on the pain. You know what? For my mood, it has been a fucking miracle. A fucking miracle. When I think about not being able to go to my son's soccer for years, drop off, and I couldn't go out. I mean, the parents didn't even know me. He was a teenager, so he can manage himself, but at 13, I was like, get out, do your own thing. I couldn't deal with him. My father would have to go to a game, or I would go to the odd game, and I would cringe at anybody talking to me. I mean, it was fucked up, man. It was fucked up. That I, because of pain and anxiety, stopped participating in my son and my family's life. And I'm sure I'm not the only parent out there that, due to fibromyalgia, absolutely Bona, fibromyalgia and anxiety, I just couldn't do it anymore. And I just tapped out and I just lived in my little house. And so getting out of my house, experiencing this and being able to share this with you, I mean, I could never have dreamed this. For me, when I was living in my little box thinking, this is it for me, and probably by 55 I'll be in a home. Right? The stress of that.
I wouldn't quite allow that to happen. There will be 2 of us, and
no, I'm going back a few years when they were telling me the doctors, not now.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Not
because
now,
you know,
I
work hard. I mean, again, at 25 years with HIV, I work very hard at trying to teach people how to live a better quality of life and remind them that their disabilities shouldn't hamper their life. I have friends that are in wheelchairs that drive sports cars, you know, and their disabilities don't stop them from living, and that's the main thing that we like to teach. It's the main thing we try to teach. I'm gonna play this video of Vicky so she can stretch, and then we're gonna close out the show right after this. But this is an 8-minute video. This will give you 8 minutes to stretch out. And then we're gonna come back because we have a good audience. Share this around in our closing. We'll do probably a good 15. If Vicky gets 8 minutes to stretch, I'm gonna share this around. Friends, please share this around to your friendly groups. Please don't spam any groups. No. We don't want that.
No.
And most importantly, just share around to groups that are friendly to Cannabis in Canada and to what we're doing. And yeah, because this is what we do. I mean, this is this is our life, and this what I'm about to show you. It's a 10-minute clip. So if for 10 minutes you'll get to see a side of Vicky that this was her 3 years ago when I met her, and like I said, I packed her walker all the way across the country, even though
so
she didn't know.
She had to. I was so scared when they recorded this video.
Yep, they forced her. And again, she was in Ontario when she realized that they had actually tapered her off of morphine to come home basically on nothing, or basically because you won't die. They already know that, so just let her suffer. So I called in a favor to the Natural Remedy, and the Natural Remedy helped me out to help Vicky out. And long story short, you guys can watch the video.
I just gave you that whole blurb, and it was kind of personal for me to share about how disconnected I was from my son's life. So, here I am going back to spend time with this young man. It was so important. I went back to spend time with him, and I couldn't spend any time with him because I was fucking in withdrawals. I was a snappy, bitchy, emotional. Every day I was in withdrawals, you know what I mean? It's hard to imagine a healthcare system that, like when I got back, I'm like, buddy, I was going for 4 weeks. You couldn't have waited a month if I was home. You know what I mean? You couldn't have waited until July so I could spend time with my son. I'm not going to see him for another year, man. You know what I mean? That was the healthcare that I was given. I just needed to preempt that, because every time I see this video, I can't help but cry, because for my family, they were like, they didn't even know who came home. It was like a demon. Honestly, right? Because it was a 4-week taper, and I was there for 4 weeks, so you can imagine what that was like.
And the worst part, at the time, we were still a long-distance relationship, and we still are now. Just working on making that so we can solidify ourselves finally on one coast and not have Vicky back and forth dealing with family issues. Anyway, you guys can have a watch over this. Vicky can have a stretch out. We can gather her composure, and lots of love to you guys. And this isn't the end of the show, but we will be on for about another 15 minutes. So if you have questions, think about them while we're on here, and you'll see that by the end of this trip, Vicky was off of morphine and on nothing but CBD, and she hasn't looked back since. No. In fact, I haven't seen her, even when the opportunities presented itself, pick up a morphine pill. No. So on that note, we'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. Cheers. Welcome back to Cannabis Canada with Jason Wilcox, the real Cannabis in Canada. We're celebrating a win in our...
Hi, this is Vicky O'Brien, medical cannabis patient. I would like to share a little bit about the journey that I'm about to take with my partner Jason Wilcox as we travel coast to coast. As some of you know, we've been in Ontario for the month of June visiting family, and prior to my leaving to come to Ontario, I had recently been put on morphine due to my hepatitis. I had come off of all pharmaceuticals a couple of years ago with cannabis oil, and recently my liver acted up and I was forced off canna oil. My body couldn't process high doses of oil anymore, so I was forced back onto pharmaceuticals. And unfortunately, that pharmaceutical was morphine because it's the only drug that doesn't, it bypasses the liver. I was in the hospital for a short stint. Anyways, the long and the short of it is I was put back on morphine, and for anybody that's been a patient, a cannabis patient, and suffered withdrawals and done that, to be put back on it was horrendous, to say the least. So that basically didn't allow me to take the journey back to British Columbia with Jason. As some of you know, Jay and Daniel made the trip out from BC to Ontario in the car. When we all decided to make this trip, I went to my doctor. You know, we talked about, I didn't want to be on the morphine forever, but you know, this was the situation that I was placed in. Anyways, my doctor at that point decided that he wanted to taper me back off the morphine because my liver was doing better in his eyes, I guess. I'm not sure. But unfortunately, I still have a lot of chronic pain to deal with, and he didn't want to deal with my chronic pain. He only wanted to deal with the symptoms of my liver, I'm assuming. So he forced a taper on me, and he also forced a taper on me when I was supposed to be on vacation with my family. So this has not really been the best vacation because the entire time I've been here, I've been in withdrawal since the day and hour I got on the plane. You know, doctors play God in your life. You know, and for all that, you know, the Rona Ambroses of the world that think there's no value to marijuana. Well, you know what? I didn't feel very valued in my doctor's office when he decided to do a morphine taper when I was supposed to be on vacation. You know, that's our medical system. You know, so anyways, the long and the short of it is I wanted to get off of the opiates anyway. I didn't want to go back on them. I just didn't have any other cannabis options. I'd run out of oils. And like I said, I couldn't take them because my body couldn't process coconut oil anymore, or grapeseed oil, or any oil. So I really was out of options. And I don't know, like a miracle of God, Jason had gotten some RSO, and so thank God he shared one of the syringes with me last week. And it was like a miracle. You know, it was, relief came. It was truly felt miraculous. You know, I wasn't running to the bathroom. I wasn't nauseous. I wasn't sick. You know, it alleviated the withdrawal symptoms, the pain of withdrawal, so much so that I said to him, if I can get my hands on this oil, Jason, not only do I feel that I can tough through withdrawals, I truly believe in my heart I can make this trip home with you. So I'm supposed to be on a plane tomorrow on a Sunwing flight, and I've given up my flight. I don't get my money back. I believe in this oil so much that I gave up my $300 flight for no good reason other than to say, you know what, I believe this oil will get me off of morphine and it will get me home. So, you know what, Rona Ambrose, for this, there's no medical value. You're insane. You're insane, woman. You know, any doctor that would send you home for 4 weeks on a taper, first of all, how the hell is that healthcare? You know, there's no caring in that. You know, I've suffered, my family suffered. It's been a heck of a month. But anyways, that oil last week, I got my hands on this oil, and I also did a tea with it, and it was like life-changing. And, you know, it brought me back to how I did my withdrawals the first time around. And I did my withdrawals with RSO. This time is different because I'm not only doing withdrawals, I'm taking a trip across the country. So I'm taking, you know, probably the worst times of my life and extending it because I have serious back pain. But I truly believe it's possible with this oil. So I was able, I mean, you know, this stuff is very expensive, and it shouldn't be. This stuff should be the same damn price as my opiates, you know. It shouldn't cost hundreds of dollars for me to be in like no pain. You know, this is crazy. This is hundreds of dollars, and I go to the pharmaceutical, I go up to Shoppers Drug Mart, and it only cost me $26 or like $36 for like 100 morphine. How can that even be right? You know what I mean? How can that even be right? How can it cost so little for something that's killing me and so much for something that's saving me? You know, this is all on purpose, man. So, you know, this prohibition, this reefer madness, it has to end. It has to end. You know, I firmly believe that if this were in the hands of every detox, every withdrawal management center, and again, I was an addictions counselor before I became sick, I firmly believe that as a worker, if I had this in my hands and I was in a detox, nobody would suffer again. No heroin or opiate addict would ever suffer again. the pains of withdrawal would be a thing of the past. The running to the bathroom and it just taking over your life, that it would be a thing of the past. And I don't think any human should have to suffer. That's my thing, right? I don't think suffering, especially when we have access to medicine that allows us not to suffer. And for me, this has allowed me not to suffer. So today is my last day. Well, actually, last night was my last morphine, and today, thank God, is my first day of freedom. So we're going to open this up. I have a day one and a night one from the naturalremedy.ca. They're amazing people. They're the only place that I've been able to locate actually like high CBD and high THC. The last time I did this, I got a one oil. It was a one purpose, one thing did one, you know, and it didn't do everything. There's no one thing for all people. These guys are amazing. They have it so much so that they have like different oils for different issues, like different strains for different pains, like JL says, and it only makes sense, right? It only makes sense to me. So I have a high CBD one for the day, which is going to allow me to stay in the car with Jay and get home, but it's going to keep my inflammation down, my pain down. Not only does it do that, the owners of the company explained to me what it does for your brain. When you're in withdrawals, and anybody that knows withdrawals, you are in a state of crisis. Your brain is in a state of crisis. It doesn't matter what you do. It is so stressed out, and you're frustrated, you're snappy, and you're all the things that you don't want to be. This oil here, this one, the CBD oil, actually helps swelling almost, that stress of the brain, not swelling, but it's stress. It actually alleviates the stress of the brain. CBD is an amazing medicine, you know. So this will not only, you know, assist the inflammation in my body and my back and my hip, but it'll also keep the inflammation in my brain, which is where all those crazy withdrawals are happening. It's going to keep that at a calming state too. And for anybody that's been where I'm at right now, you know that there's nothing calm about withdrawals. So anything that can keep the shakes and all that shit down at bay, I mean, this is a miracle. This is a miracle. I am an addictions counselor. If I could have given this to one of my patients, just one client, you know what I mean? And they didn't have to suffer. I mean, it's amazing what we could do. No addict needs suffer ever again if they don't want to. You know, I don't think that withdrawals, anybody should ever have to suffer again. So we are going to be making this trip with this, like I said, the inflammation one. And then for anybody that knows me, knows that I also suffer terribly with insomnia. So I have this crazy THC one that's for nighttime. So it's 75% THC and 5% CBD. I don't understand the science enough, but I do know that the THC one KOs me and it's amazing for pain. And this CBD one I haven't tried, so I'm pretty excited to see really how I'm going to feel, because really the only one I've ever had was like the standard high THC oils, right? This is a whole new world for me, and I'm really excited to see how I'm going to be feeling physically and mentally, because your mental picture is a big part of who you are and your day, right? So we're getting ready for this trip. It's pretty exciting. Sorry about all the tears. It's, you know, it is what it is. And as much as I hate where I'm at, I'm actually glad to be here, because I didn't want to go back on morphine, and without having access to these kind of oils, my only other option was being forced back on coconut oil, and I can't consume it. So I'd run out of options, and thank God for the Natural Remedy, because they've given me options that I didn't think I had anymore. And this is a blessing, right? A huge blessing, because I didn't want to be back on that damn opiates anyway. So anyways, enough of that bad, boring stuff. Let's move on to the happy, good stuff. We are getting ready for this awesome trip. I don't want to open up the trifolds because these are for people's dispensaries and their lounges. But we're all set up. Kelly K from the West Coast got us all rigged out. We got trifolds here. We got stickers. I'm not going to pull everything out, but I would like to pull out some of these t-shirts because they're pretty awesome. I don't even have one. Maybe this is mine now. So yeah, I love the hashtag. So we got some t-shirts, guys. We're coming coast to coast. We're going to be bringing the CRC. We're going to be bringing it to you. You know, hit us up, PM us, and hopefully we can stop, sesh, educate, and share information. And you know, the more cannabis, the more of us get together, the better. We need power in numbers at this point, folks. August is right around the corner. And the more of us that get together, the better. There really can't be enough of us at this point. We need a Canna army. So if we're passing by your town, let us know, hit us up. We'd love to stop by and sesh. And yeah, peace out. Wish us well. Stop, sesh, educate.
Okay, welcome back to Cannabis in Canada with Jason Wilcox and Miss Vicki O'Brien. We are just here to finish out the show. We have 10 minutes left to go. I'm going to do another dab. We're going to review some of the comments on both Facebook and YouTube. And once again, thanks to our sponsors of the show, Green Planet Nutrients, Beard Brothers Concentrate. Who else do we got? Gorilla Tents. We got Geopots. We got TMB Naturals. We've got, I'm going off the top of my head here, so I apologize for those that I'm missing. But thank you to all of our sponsors that continue to help the show grow and help us to keep doing educational stuff that allows people to continue the continuing education and changing a policy that's necessary when it comes to the cannabis plant. Our chats have been busy both on YouTube and on they've been a little quiet during Vicky's video, but it's a touching video. It's where someone is being real and raw, and it's one of the few times. See, this is when Vicky didn't realize I was good with the camera with just saying be yourself, and because it was just me and her on her front porch, she just cut loose and she felt she's in a safe place, and it was and that's why the camera captured that real and raw Vicky O'Brien. And how she really felt, her real fears. And it's sort of like the video I did with Justin Loazos. It really captures his raw emotions because I told everybody else in the room to leave.
My greatest fear is becoming injured again and having to go back on morphine because, when I got sick a couple of years ago and my liver forced me, that all what was going on, CBD products weren't really available to me. So, at that time, we're going back a few years, I couldn't take what was available. I'd run out of options. I was put on morphine, and I knew in my head that after a week, that I was going to be biologically dependent on these drugs, whether I wanted to be or not, because that's what opioids do to you. That's what they do to your brain. That's what they do to your brain. And so there's nothing you could do. And so when the doctor came in and said, we're putting you back on morphine because you're out of options, I laid in the bed and wept, fucking cried like a baby, because I had already withdrawn from Percocets, Oxycontins at one time, and a myriad of antidepressants and anti-anxiety and stomach pills and this pill and that pill, and I've been on every pill in the market, and to be put back on them was horrendous, and I know that at some point in my life I'd fall and I'd break my leg. God almighty, I'm going to be put back on one of these fucking drugs that's, God willing, I'll never put back on morphine, but I know that there's a possibility that it may happen again. But if it does, I know that I have these sort of products available to me now to, at least will make getting over the hump a lot easier. Yeah, you know what, honestly, it won't be as bad with this sort of thing. I would love to see these in withdrawal management centers from coast to coast. I think it's an absolute sin that this isn't in withdrawal management centers, again, especially as a cannabis counselor, not as a cannabis counselor, as a addictions worker, a counselor, a mental health worker, a substance abuse worker myself when I was working. It's a fucking crime. This isn't in every single withdrawal management center coast to coast, so that no person suffering, nobody should suffer. You know what, if this is going to help a majority of us with brain disorders, again, this is a neuroprotectant, and your brain is it's in seizures essentially at that point when you're in withdrawal.
Well, just break that down maybe, just as we're closing out the show. Break down neuroprotectant and what that means, because as we age, our brains naturally start to default on us. But go ahead and explain to people.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. That was well said. As we're aging, everything is deteriorating. It's an awful thing, but you know what? I lost my mother young. Aging is a gift. It is a gift that is not bestowed to everybody. My mother was gone at 47, far too young. You know what I mean? And some of us have lost people a lot younger than that. So again, aging, although it can be a real biatch, it truly is a blessing. But there's some things that we can do to help us age and age gracefully, age better, and you know what, really maintain more of our health as we're aging. So again, you're right, your brain will deteriorate just like your body. But CBD is now researched and it has been proven to be a neuroprotectant. So that means it's protecting our brains as we're aging. And again, if you have Parkinson's, substance abuse disorders, mood disorders, things that are, again, affecting their brain, CBD should be the first thing that you're taking in the morning.
Go to CannabisCanada.net or CannabisCanadaInc.com. We finally we changed our URL again. We went from .net to .com. But we have to add Cannabis Canada Inc. because the cyber squatters that are sitting on CannabisCanada.ca remain sitting there because they can't get their own views, so they got to write off my work. But that's okay. I'll take that as flattery.
All right, we're just about there.
Yeah, we're at the end of the show, so we want to thank everybody for tuning in
and
supporting us. Yes, have a wonderful weekend. We will get a show up. Please sign up at cannabisincanada.net because then you'll be part of our email list. And once we get a scheduled show, which will likely be Sunday nights at 5 o'clock, once that time happens and we put it in action, then you'll know what the topic's going to be about. You'll know what time the show is going to be on, and you'll have lots of time in advance if you want to join us and get involved with the chat.
And if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the little notification to subscribe, and then that will make sure, that'll send you a notification each time we're going live. If you're on Facebook, subscribe to Jason's public page. That will same thing, give you a notification we're going live. I got to plug him, right? Got to plug the show. You got to, right?
Well, no, but this is it's an 11-year-old company. We've been on YouTube. We are now the oldest channel.
Awesome.
Sitting on YouTube, and I'm proud to say that. And we're also ranked in the top 10 cannabis channels on YouTube.
Yes, awesome.
So,
right?
Hats off to Canadians that can do that.
You know what I want to say? You know what? Thank you for joining us, because every single person that is enjoying this experience with us, you are helping again keep the channel, in that area in top 10. Thank you so much for participating in this experience. Thank you today for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for getting Jason to this 11-year standing program. It's an amazing thing that we've all participated in, and I just want to say, namaste, have a wonderful weekend, and thank you for being here and sharing this experience with me and Jason tonight. It has filled my heart with light and love, and I know that I'm stepping a little more lightly into my weekend, and that is because of this experience that we've had. So I really appreciate you being here with us.
Yeah, well said. And that's what we try to do now. Like I've actually done yoga with Vicky, and we've talked about meditation, and I look forward to the warmer weather because just in closing here, we have the beach. It's 5 minutes down from my condo here, and
so awesome.
We can go sit on the beach and we can meditate together, and we can stretch. We can do yoga. I can go for a swim. I love to swim in the ocean. Vicky doesn't.
I'll dip my toes in.
It's good to see Jennifer Colette's in the chat.
Hey Jen, how are you?
Jennifer and I have been chatting over. You talk about a real medical activist out of Ontario. She's I said this. She doesn't like to refer to herself. She goes, "Yeah, I guess we are warriors."
You guys are warriors. You guys are big time warriors.
We are, but we're compassionate warriors. We fight.
Yeah.
We are compassionate warriors first and foremost. We fight for medical patients and medicinal use of cannabis first and foremost, and and to other people that want to use it for weekend warrioring, to each their own. Big ups. But honestly, I'm into this about sharing the information of healing, and not so much in the information of dealing. That's more held for another show, or another time, another place, and another topic. But we're still got 2 minutes here, Vicky. Time seems to really close. You go slow when you're closing out. But I will say I love you guys in the chat. You guys are all awesome. Ladies, gentlemen, you are fucking awesome. And you know why you're awesome? Because you smoke cannabis like I do. That makes you awesome. That makes you awesome, my books. And if you're ever in Vancouver, come stop by, and we'll always have our champagne sitting up in the cupboard, and we'll always share our champagne with our friends.
The dab rig is warm. She is ready to go. You know what I mean? There's always weed somewhere in our house.
No, there was a time when people would come to town, and we would say, "Come on, let's get together and let's go to." Let's go hang out. But unfortunately, that flagship has been sold out to LPs in favor of money and greed and friggin' everything else. So all I can tell you now is that we need a place in BC.
We do.
And we need a conduit to the community that can bring the medical patients back together again, and nationally and provincially. We should have provincial organizations where we have this. I mean, honestly, sometimes I regret putting down the coalition. I sometimes wish that I hadn't done it, because it wasn't just my decision, it was a board decision. But I wish we didn't do it sometimes, because then in times like this, people could just call somebody else in the organization. There would be a department to help them in each province. But unfortunately, due to the will of the people, it is what it is. We decided to dissolve the group. The Alaskan Thunderfuck is amazing. That's what made these diamonds. I took my Alaskan Thunderfuck and I only smoked a little bit of it, and it was okay. But I blasted it.
That's beauty. Put on that camera just before we tune out and see.
Yeah, I blasted it.
Awesome weekend, guys. I hope that keeps the sound.
It'll keep the sound.
Yeah, it's been good so far.
As long as I... Where did my camera go? Alright, we'll show them on this cam. There, well, they can see Vicky and they can see sort of...
There we go. I just moved.
So those are the diamonds there. I'll see if I can make this a little bit bigger. That's us.
Yeah.
There. Some silver here. There.
There, perfect.
There. So that's kind of what we're working on. So this is fresh frozen, blasted. It doesn't look like much, but believe it or not, that's 1.5 ounces. A fresh cut bud.
Beauty.
That was just, it's a test. But in the smaller container that I did a smaller test on, we had diamonds form in a very short 48 hours. It was truly, truly amazing that it did that. Why am I having trouble getting us back to...
All right, fam jam. We're going to wrap up.
Yeah, I'm trying to just get us back to our main...
camera.
Our main camera. It's like, what the hell?
That's okay. We'll figure it
There
out.
we are. Well, why is it now not focusing on us?
I don't know.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Anyway, thank you everybody for joining in. We love you guys all. Have a wonderful weekend. And if you're into yoga, nimsa, whatever the fuck it's called, namaste, namana, wamani, namana. I'll probably learn this if I went to China. Probably know by the time I got back. And I'm not a racist. I'm just a realist. On that note, this is Jason Wilcox and Vicky O'Brien from Cannabis Canada signing out.